Within the last decade, there's been an explosion in the use of wireless technology, and it's had a massive impact on how we live and work. I, for one, am addicted to my iPhone. It lets me read my email or surf the web from just about anywhere. With Wi-Fi, laptop computers or other enabled devices function by emitting and receiving microwave frequency radio signals. Wi-Fi operates using the same high frequency that microwave ovens produce. The signal travels through walls, allowing users to move about their homes without losing the connection. It also travels through us, and our bodies can absorb some of the radiation. It's this which is causing concern among some scientists. This is a highly controversial area and there isn't scientific consensus, but evidence is increasing that microwave radiation can cause biological effects.
Some people are sensitive to electromagnetic fields, and that can manifest itself in a mild way, which might be headaches and nosebleeds. But there's a spectrum of other issues where people become more severely affected when they start having heart palpitations, internal bleeding, quite severe headaches, all when they're in the environment of either Wi-Fi or mobile phones or masts. I'm severely electrically sensitive. I can't use a mobile phone, obviously, but I can't use a computer. I can't use an ordinary phone to my head. I have to use a speakerphone. The terminology used is electrical hypersensitivity.
Endorsed by the Health Protection Agency, the current standards are based on what are known as thermal effects. That is, if the levels of microwave radiation aren't high enough to heat your body, then they're considered safe. But now many scientific studies have recorded biological effects from exposure far below these limits. So, is the HPA right? Dr. Simon Mann is head of the HPA's Wi-Fi project team. Dr. Mann, can you tell me about the research you've done into Wi-Fi?
We set up this project where we built new experimental facilities, especially for measuring Wi-Fi equipment. We looked at the technical standards that underpin it. We made measurements on examples of the equipment. We looked at the emissions from it, and we published the first results last summer, and we're presently finalising some more results. So
is it your view that Wi-Fi is 100% safe?
100% safe is something that no scientist can ever say.
Does the HPA consider Wi-Fi to be harmless?
The HPA's view is there is no consistent evidence that Wi-Fi is affecting people's health.
In London, the Radiation Research Trust meets to discuss the long-term health effects of microwave radiation.
So there's an immense exposure, but it's still very far below the recommended exposure standards.
Swedish neuroscientist Professor Olli Johansson is an expert in the field and believes the whole process for setting the current standards is flawed.
To use fluid-filled plastic dolls where you measure heating effects and base your public exposure standard on such a very crude measurement makes these standards obsolete. And until they are very sure that these products and technologies are safe, why don't they wait?
And Professor Johansson isn't alone. The European Parliament has also decreed that the current standards are obsolete. EU Parliament recognises that the current levels are obsolete. Why does the HPA think otherwise?
Well, the Parliament is a political body and it hasn't actually reviewed the science. Within the European Union, it actually has its own committee that is very supportive of the ECNET guidelines. There's no need for special precautions with Wi-Fi.
That's interesting because already the European Parliament, they asked not for new standards but for safety limits. And maybe the safety limit is nothing, because then we really impinge upon a very central question in biomedicine. Are we naturally equipped with some form of protection against microwaves and power frequent magnetic fields and so on? And the answer is, of course, no, we are not.
With the majority of scientists still saying Wi-Fi is perfectly safe, the technology isn't about to disappear overnight. So it seems that public and expert opinion will remain split until the weight of scientific evidence is considered beyond doubt.